Hi, beautiful Libra. Welcome to a new era. My name is Emma. Libra, this is your general reading starting today on the 18th of February. I've set the time frame to somewhere mid-February till mid-March of 2021. The today's date is all about new beginnings and infinite possibilities, endless possibilities with the infinity sign there, 18. So let's see specifically what's going on for you. It can be anything and everything because it's general, so take whatever resonates with you. I'm going to start with foundational energy here for you, like the basis, and then we're going to build from there. So this is a little bit of a journey, so please go on it with me. It's not a quick fix. Libra. There you go. There you go. So the Observer came out here again. I did a little pre-shuffling, and the Observer came out then as well. So that really wants to talk. Ooh, an orphaned. Okay, so the message that comes through here is that we're starting with the message in the bottle, number 15. We have the Observer, number 49. And Orphan, number 5. So we're going to see what this is about. But at first glance, like I'm going to read these at like a surface level first, and then we're going to go into each and every one of these energies and just get way more clarification. I just feel like the overall energy here, and because I pulled this card in the pre-shuffling, there's something about, I feel like you want to get across to somebody. You want to get your point across to somebody, or somebody's trying to get their point across to you, and it's like for right now, you don't fully get each other. There's a miscommunication here. And if this is like in terms of work, if this is in terms of romantic relationships, if this is friends, if this is family members, take whatever resonates with you. There is a feeling of you're sending out messages. Like messages in a bottle for me is just all about how you send out messages, and like perhaps years later, the message actually receives the person who's supposed to receive this is getting it, like, or it's getting like brought into the light long after. So there's something about sending out messages, but it's not received until later, or received in the form that you want it to be received. 15 there, it speaks about new beginnings, and there's a great opportunity for change here. Like there's an opportunity that has, even though it might look like it can be a little bit stuck, or we don't reach each other right now, or like there's a miscommunication here. There's a tremendous opportunity for change. So if we add those up, we have a number 6, which speaks about connecting in with your inner being. That's sort of the only thing you can do. Instead of which is very much about the Observer. This is very much about that feeling of, maybe you've been looking at something for a long time to the point where you feel like it's your reality is the only reality. There is no other reality, which couldn't be further from the truth. So there's something that it really is beneficial for you, whether it's somebody else. If you try to say something to somebody else, whatever situation this is, you're trying to tell something to somebody, they just don't get it. It's like you send words out, and as those words come out, it's like they've shifted once they land at the other person, or they've shifted once. It can also be like a communication with the universe. I know that's a tougher one. It's a broader one. It's a bigger one, because it's like the universe is trying to send you signals, or the universe is trying to give you guidance. And once that guidance is at your end, you have distorted it because of where you're at in your energy. So it can be you sending stuff out, it can be others sending stuff to you, and along the way it's getting, I know this is such a silly and almost stupid analogy, but it's like it's such a silly thing, but just to say, okay, so if, for instance, there's somebody that's telling you, you look really good in those pants, and you take that as, I'm not looking good in my other pants? What do you mean? Are these the only ones? And the other person goes, I tried to give you a compliment about those pants. Yeah, but it would have been nice if you have gotten, like, if I've gotten compliments about those other pants. It means that those other pants are not looking good on me. Are you telling me that I gain weight? Like, it's like, it's being distorted. The other person have no idea what's going on, or you're trying to explain something to somebody and they're just not getting it. There's a miscommunication here. It can be you, Libra, that the universe is trying to guide you. The universe is trying to send you signals, like in what direction to go. And when you're so like hung up on one perspective, this is the outcome. This is how it should be. This is my way of, okay, I'm trying to manifest this, and if it doesn't show up in the exact way as I planned, you think it's not going to happen, or you think you've been led astray, or it's like, that's not the way, that's not the path that I chose. Maybe it is, and maybe you just need to sort of break loose a little bit, and that's when the observer comes in to say, just take a step back. You need to see it, like, maybe not so much from your just own self point of view. It's like you need to see it from a broader perspective, from a wider range. Who's involved in this? If this is a job situation, who's involved in it? Is it co-workers? Is it bosses? Is it you that is a boss and you have employees? Or what is it that you try to tell here? And what do you think they're trying to say? If you were to put yourself in their shoes, what is going on here, like in the broader picture? Okay, 49. This is a heartfelt matter to you. This is something that is very important to you, and there's something that wants to, like, you're laying a new foundation around this. 9 speaks about endings and coming into something new here. And we have yet another number 5 here. So there is a great opportunity for change. You're overcoming something and changing something. And this orphan, it just feels like what it makes you feel when you don't reach this person, or where there is miscommunication. It's like you're being left out in the cold. It's a very strong alone, abandoned feeling. They're not getting you, or you're not getting what they're trying to say. But we have great opportunity for change here on the table, to just sort of be confident that it will work itself out. Try to hold that sort of vision that, okay, just have trust and faith, a little bit in spirit, that it's gonna come together. Maybe not in the exact form you thought or you thought out, but it is gonna come together. So we want to clarify message in a bottle, please. The decks that I'm using, I've listed down below if you're interested in them. Got stuck in my hand. Choose wisely. And number 7 again, crown chakra. Wow. So 2, number 7. You really are being guided at this time. We have number 7, choose wisely, and crown chakra number 7. So the chakra, no, wait, which one came out first? That got stuck in my hand. Right, that came out first. So, yeah, this is so much about connecting in with your higher self, like connect in with your universe. Number 7 speaks about it's an ending here. Usually, I would say around this number, I would say you have manifested something. You have gathered something. You have put the most beautiful ingredients together. It's time to really harness this. It's time to really reap what you've sown. It's yours to have, right? But because of the feeling I feel in this message, and because it's 2, number 7 coming out at once, and because it's crown, it's rather talking about you being very divinely guided and just having that support. If you feel a little bit left out, like left out in the cold, left alone, left abandoned, not being understood. And it feels almost like, did the universe abandon you as well? Is there anybody that hears what I have to say? Like, why doesn't this come across? Or what is it that you don't believe, or that you don't hear, that have you felt like left out in the cold? The divine is here to say you're not left out in the cold whatsoever. You're actually more tended to than, I can't say that than usually, because you're always tended to, because there's never a separation. You're always tended to. Always, always, always. But maybe you've been a little bit out of sorts, so that you haven't really heard the guidance from the universe lately. So this is just coming in to say there's a huge connection going on here with the spirit world, with the universe, and you're divinely guided. And we have choose wisely. We have freedom, and we have this divinely guided support here again, talking about there's so many different ways to go. I feel like perhaps there is something. If you try to convey something to somebody else, you try to get them to be on this path. Like, can we just pick this? Can we choose this for ourselves? Can we please do whatever we set out to do? And then there's something in it that sort of has made you, you have to change your mind about it because it's not working. Or if it's the other way around, somebody else is trying to get you on board on something, you're just not having any of it. Divine guidance comes in to say there's so many different, so many other perspectives, so many different paths to take, that actually leads you to the same thing that you want at the core. At the core, you just want freedom. At the core, you just want to be understood. You want equality for all. You want justice to be made. You just want it to be fair here. And the universe is coming in, or divine guidance is coming in right now to try to steer you in perhaps a little bit of a different direction than the direction you usually went in. To number 7 there. Strong divine guidance. And then the observer. Can we clarify the observer, please? Transformation. So yeah, there's and actually, do you know what? The 4 and 9, I actually didn't put them together before. That's actually 13. So we have 13 being clarified by 13 here. And so that's death leading to life. Both of them, both of those cards, death leading to life. That's the divine feminine coming in. And we have grand transformation there. So you're shifting something, you're changing something, you're trying to get people to get on board with you, or other people are trying to get you on board with them. There is a little bit of a hiccup, there is a little bit of miscommunication, but through it all, there's a grand transformation happening. Because of this, I see this mask coming off, and you're just completely dressed in green, which just speaks about the healing taking place, wholeness taking place, and there's just a different, you're going to come out different after the situation. Either if it's about letting go of certain control, letting go of a certain perspective, thinking that I understand if you set your goal or set your aim, focus on some place, and somebody comes in to say, you're not going to have that aim anymore. You're not going to have that focus because we're going in a different direction. And maybe you've invested so much time or so much feelings in it. It's okay, I'm being brought to this analogy. I don't know how it's going to fit for all of you, but I'm being brought to it over and over again. So I'm not going to ignore it. I'm going to actually speak about it. So one of my sisters, they got 2 cats. They got 2 little kittens. And it turns out when they've gotten these little kittens that their 4 children, 2 of them reacts really strongly to them. And it turns out they're somewhat allergic, but there's you can work around it. There's so many things you can do to make the situation better, to really find out if that is the case, to not so like quickly just judge that this is the situation, we need to get rid of the cat straight away. So my sister was really like, I want to keep those cats, and she's home a lot, and so they were like great company for her. She'd invested in having those cats like long before those cats even showed up, and so they were finally here. And then her boyfriend and his kids wasn't having too much of it, and so, and I hope I'm not too blunt. It feels like it's okay for me to say this. It's just a difference in opinion, right? And my sister was so set on just having those freaking cats, like to the point where it started to waver a little bit in the relationship, because she was sticking to her gun when it came to those kittens, and he was not having any of it, and he was like, the kids has to come first, there's no debate here. And she tried to like, I can like take the pillows out where the cats have been, I can vacuum, I can, clean up after like frenetic? No, what is that word? She wanted to just really, really, really keep those cats, so that she needed to do everything that she could to do to keep them. But at the end of the day, they got rid of the cats. And what do I try to say about this? Like, okay, so we have probably 4 different perspectives coming into this, and then a very opinionated ex of her boyfriend also saying, what are you guys doing? Like, my kids are allergic, get rid of the freaking cats. And my sister was like, we don't know that for sure. Like, can we just take a moment here? There's so many like good medicines out there that really is helpful. If that's all it takes for us to clean out a little bit, can we give it a week? And they were like, no, it's not gonna happen. And so she was really feeling hurt by it. She was really feeling like, this is not fair. Like, I've been wanting to have those cats for such a long time, and now my company is finally here, and they're so cute, and she invested so much, both love and time and arguments over those cats, and then at the end of the day they had to get rid of them. And so the transformation for her was not only, that in itself made her have to take the perspective and point of view of her boyfriend, and she had to take the perspective of her boyfriend's ex, and she had to take the perspective of the children, and wanting so much for them to have their perspective, probably feeling a little bit like she's the only one who's supposed to have perspective of the others, and they were not that interested in having her perspective. And so she felt a little bit left out in the cold, like, why isn't my perspective interesting? And I can understand from another parent's point of view, because they're allergic, we can't have them here, there's no perspective to discuss even. So it was a cat situation, but the cat situation led to be able to just have all these different perspectives. And at the end of the day, it actually brought my sister and her boyfriend closer together, because it brought up some other issues, some other topics that was laying underneath, feeling like some wasn't being heard, somebody was just sort of, well, it's my way, whether you like it or not. And it was like, okay, so there's other topics, other issues we need to discuss as well, because they were laying underneath it. And so there was a great transformation happening due to this situation. So I hope this is beneficial. I hope this is helpful, that I was brought to that cat analogy story, that there can be something completely different going on the surface level, and then underneath it, it just allows for you to, okay, take a step back. You can be so set on those freaking cats, and then it's like a heartbreak, because now you have to give them up, and where are they gonna like land now? Are they gonna get like, we already moved them once, it's so mean to just move them again, and all of those like issues coming up. But at the end of the day, it's just cats, and they're gonna be fine in their new home, and they found a new home. It was a perfect fit, and there's other cats, there's other, so not to be so stuck on your, this is the path, this is how it's gonna be, and I'm gonna defend it till my dying day. That's not the way to go here. There's something about taking a step back, and maybe this is vice versa for you. Maybe you feel like my sister felt. You're trying to state your case and they're not hearing you. There's great transformation that is about to take place around this. You have a great opportunity here to really try to understand and try to listen. And it can be also, at the end of the day, if there's a person that you feel like you talk and you talk and you talk and you turn yourself inside freaking out, and that was a good saying, inside freaking out, inside out, and it's like talking to a wall. There's just nothing there. It just is blank. That is the transformation as well, to sort of also, because I know, Libra, you can be such a if there's a problem with you, you need to fix the problem. If there's a problem with them, they have a problem, you need to change something about you so that they won't have the problem, right? No, they need to go fix that problem. That's not your problem. But there's something about you, Libra, wanting to have so much justice and wanting to have so much fairness and so much balance in a situation that you take on other people's burdens as well. So it's like you're the only person who says, my fault is my fault and their fault is my fault. If I can change that somehow, I need to change, like if I heighten my energy a little bit, I might attract something a little bit different from them so that they will sort of act better, and then you will have done a good justice balancing out job. No, Libra. So sometimes it's just for you to also realize this time there's no point in arguing with the wall, right? So you just feel it, like there's the connection there with the inner being, to just feel what can be done here, what is truly yours and what is truly somebody else's. What can be done here and what can you let go of that doesn't serve you to hold on to anymore, that actually would resolve something. And sometimes what can you let go of in the sense of, okay, we have reached a dead end. It's not for you to pursue, and it's not for you to change anything for yourself, because you've looked at it from every angle. That's your strength, that's your superpower, Libra, that you have that sort of empathy and that sort of mind-blowing perspective observer freaking owl mentality, that's why you work so well in the justice system, and not so well when, anyway, that's another topic. Sometimes it's not your fault and it's not yours to deal with. It's the transformation here and the learning here is leave it be for them to sort out. Take a step back, let them breathe and let them sort it all out. And once they have, and maybe see the picture clearer, they will come back to you. I hope this makes sense. To number 13 there though. So it's death leading to life. There's a breakthrough here. We're going to come out on the other side of this. So there's, again, sort of this trust. Just trust in the situation that it will be sorted out. No matter where we're going to end up, all roads lead to Rome, right? Wherever, okay, we're going to go this route instead. Yeah, it's still going to bring you to love and freedom. That's ultimately what you want. And then this orphan, being left out in the cold, a little bit of abandonment feeling here. It flipped, but it didn't come out. Number 4 again, a heartfelt matter, discontent and boredom. The rainbow's coming in there though. Let's see, orphan. Can we have a clarification here, please? It was one more. Third eye flipped but didn't come out. So that's the connection again with your inner being. That's your intuition. Pay close attention to your whether somebody's trying to persuade you to do something or trying to get to see their perspective. Yes, take on their perspective, take on their point of view. Try on as many different shoes as you possibly can. But ultimately the true voice, the true then you need to fit those shoes with your yes, I feel like those shoes are quite okay. I just need to check one more time with my inner being. That's who you need to check with. You don't need to check with your partner. You don't need to check with your children. You don't need to check with your boss. It might sound like you need to. It might look good on the paper if you did, like, out loud say, I hear what you're saying. I think we're going to go in your direction. But then sort of with yourself saying, but I'm going to feel if this feels true to me or not. Temptation number 15. So it's the second 15 that comes out, because we had that with the message in the bottle. And 5 clarified with 15. So there's a new beginning in this opportunity for change. The temptation card usually comes out when you try to go for something that will numb the real thing. Like, this could talk about substance abuse, whatever this is for you. In this particular situation, when you feel abandoned like this, yes, it could be like a substance. Okay, deep message here, because the only reason one feels abandoned, the only reason is that you've lost your contact with your inner being. I know it looks like, if somebody on the outside, like those kittens being taken away from you, breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that those kittens were taken away from me. It breaks my heart. I feel so sad now that they're gone. No, you don't. And if this is the first time you heard that, that's going to be like such a revelation and such a... Maybe you think I'm a complete bitch, but it's like... It feels like it's the very thing outside of you that is doing something in order for you to react and feel in a certain way, right? You can only feel abandoned if somebody like breaks up with you and walks away, or if somebody is like really not understanding you or on purpose trying not to understand you, so you're left out in the cold. But the only reason you can feel left out in the cold, the only reason you can feel abandoned, is if you lost your contact with your inner being. That's why I was led before to say, you can try on any type of pair of shoes and you can try on every type of different perspective, but the truest perspective and the only sort of connection you really need to deal with is the connection with your inner being. If that connection is lost, yes, then you feel abandoned. And then you start to blame stuff around you, and you might want to just start to use something to feel that lack of connection. Feel that void. But the void isn't that a person has left you or a person doesn't understand you or the kittens are taken away. The void and the feeling of lack of connection, the abandonment issue, is that you actually have abandoned your own connection with your inner being. Okay? I said this the other day, and I'm going to say it again because it is a really good analogy, that you are the projector. Like, when you go to the movies, you go into the movie theater and you sit down in your chair and you watch up on this big screen, and you know for a fact that it's not the screen that is like producing all the images, right? The screen is just a backdrop. There's the projector up here somewhere that is just sending out the image, projecting onto that screen, so it actually looks like it's happening on the screen, right? But if we need to change the image, if you don't like the movie, you probably leave the movie theater altogether. But if you know that if we need to change the movie, you don't run up to the stage or run up to the screen and try to mess with the screen, right? You go back to the projector and you switch the tape in the projector. That's the same thing with you. If the movie stops to work, it's going to be black or complete white, like on that screen, right? Because there's something, something is wrong with the projector. So then we need to go and fix the projector. We need to find a new tape or fix the tape and then get it rolling again. So this is you that have a little hiccup in your tape in your projector. That's when you can feel abandoned. But it's nothing more than an empty screen out here. But you're trying to now say, they took the movie away from me on the screen. They took the movie away from me on the screen. We need to get the stuff back on the screen or I won't feel good. I mean, you can sit for ever. If that projector doesn't ever work again, you can sit there forever because it's never about the screen, right? It's just a projection on a screen. So if you want to have a different reaction to something, or if you don't want to feel abandoned, it's not because the screen is doing something. The screen is just the backdrop for any projection onto it. So you need to change your projector so that, or projection, or the tape that is being played in the projector, so you feel connected again. Right? So the temptation here, the temptation is to go for something outside of you. Is to blame that boss, is to blame the person who doesn't want the kittens, is to blame, I feel sad now because they don't get me. They don't understand me. And I feel sad because they don't understand me. No, you don't. You feel sad because you lost your connection with your inner being. Once you have the connection with your inner being again, you can never, ever, ever feel abandoned. You can never feel understood. Then you just feel whole, and you project out a whole lot of wholeness onto that screen, so that a whole lot of wholeness looks like it's a whole lot of wholeness right there that is just being projected back to you. I hope this makes sense. I'm going to move into the extended and see what else I can find around this. You are not abandoned. You just need to work a little bit more on your inner connection, and also try to figure out what isn't actually yours, what is actually others to take care of themselves. If you feel like you resonate with this, you're so welcome to the extended reading. The link to that is in the description box down below. If not, thank you so much for watching, Libra. This is all going to work out. Take care. Bye.